Have you ever noticed how we spend so much of our lives waiting? Waiting for the next opportunity, the next relationship, the next version of ourselves to finally feel ready. But what if I told you, waiting for the future is the very thing keeping you from it? Because the truth is, the future doesn't arrive. It unfolds, moment by moment, through what we do today. Ethan Cole was a data analyst living in Seattle. His life was neat, predictable, almost perfectly optimized. He tracked everything: his sleep, his meals, his career goals, each one color-coded in a spreadsheet. He often said, "I'm just preparing for the right time." But somehow, the right time never came. He was always waiting for the market to shift, waiting to feel inspired, waiting for the future to reveal itself. Then one morning, Ethan read an article about something called future shock. It described how our minds can't keep up with the speed of change, how people freeze when faced with too much uncertainty. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept asking himself, am I living or just preparing to live? Days later, Ethan met Clara, a futurist who ran workshops on strategic foresight. She said something that shook him. Open quote, "People think anticipation is power, but reactive waiting is just a prettier form of fear." Close quote. Ethan frowned. "Then what should I do?" he asked. Clara smiled. "Stop waiting for the future. Start mapping it." The next week, Ethan joined one of Clara's sessions. The first exercise was called Mapping Your North Star. Clara told everyone to forget their goals for a moment and imagine their ideal future self. Not the version society wanted, not the version others expected, but the one that felt authentic. Ethan closed his eyes. He saw a cabin by the ocean, his laptop open, but not for endless reports. He was mentoring young analysts, helping them use data not just for profit, but for purpose. He felt calm, fulfilled, present. Clara asked, "What values anchor that vision?" Ethan whispered, "Freedom, integrity, impact." 3 simple words that suddenly made his spreadsheets look like cages. That night, Ethan built a digital vision board. He added images, quotes, and even sounds of the sea. He wrote, open quote, "I don't want a career that impresses others. I want a life that aligns with me." Close quote. Over the next few months, Ethan learned the art of navigating shifting sands. He realized prediction wasn't power, preparedness was. He practiced scenario thinking. What if my company automates my role? What if AI replaces half the tasks I do today? What if I lose everything I'm planning for? Instead of panicking, he learned to adapt. He took online courses in strategic design and AI ethics. He built a network of thinkers who viewed uncertainty as playgrounds, not prisons. He began to see that flexibility, not control, was the real strength. One of Clara's teachings stayed with him, open quote, "Foresight isn't about knowing the future. It's about being ready for whichever future arrives." Close quote. And slowly, Ethan stopped fearing change. He started shaping it. A year later, he faced his biggest test. His company underwent massive restructuring. Entire departments dissolved overnight. For the first time, he wasn't anxious. He had already played this scenario in his mind. He used what Clara called the pre-mortem exercise, imagining failure before it happened. He'd already identified the weak spots in his plan and strengthened them. So when others panicked, Ethan pivoted. He launched a small consulting startup helping businesses prepare for digital disruption. And it worked. But more importantly, he was living his mapped vision. Each project reflected his 3 anchors: freedom, integrity, impact. He was no longer reacting to the future, he was co-creating it. Months later, Ethan found himself back at the beach cabin he'd once imagined. Waves crashed softly against the shore. His work wasn't perfect, his life wasn't complete. But for the first time, he wasn't chasing tomorrow. He realized that foresight wasn't about predicting what comes next. It was about being present enough today to build it, piece by piece. He smiled and whispered, "The horizon isn't a place I reach, it's the direction I walk in." Remember this, the future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who prepare, who adapt, and who act today. Because every small decision you make now, every value you honor, every vision you nurture quietly in your heart is already building your beyond. So ask yourself, what is your North Star? What future are you quietly waiting for when you could start living it today? If this story touched something in you, share it. Tell me in the comments, what does your beyond the horizon look like? And remember, the light of your story might be the lantern someone else is searching for.